Welcome to our chocolate factory. Today I'll show you how cocoa beans turn into delicious chocolate. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
The chocolate making process begins with the arrival of cocoa beans from farms across Africa and South America. Each sack is opened and poured onto wide sorting tables, where workers spread the beans out and check them carefully. They look for color, freshness, and any signs of damage. Defective beans are removed so only the best quality cocoa moves forward. This early inspection is essential because it directly affects the flavor of the final chocolate. Once sorting is complete, the selected beans are weighed and prepared for roasting. Every batch that continues has already passed an important layer of human quality control. After sorting, the cocoa beans are moved into the roasting room, where they enter large rotating drums heated to precise temperatures. Roasting brings out the deep chocolate aroma and develops the base flavor of the beans. Once the roast is complete, the beans are cooled to stop the cooking process and prepare them for cracking. In the next stage, machines break the beans into small pieces, separating the outer shells from the cocoa nibs inside. This is followed by winnowing, where airflow removes the lighter shells and leaves behind clean, pure cocoa nibs. Workers inspect the nibs to ensure they are uniform and properly separated. With the nibs fully cleaned, they move into the grinding stage. Heavy stone rollers crush the nibs, slowly turning them into a thick, smooth paste known as chocolate liquor. Despite the name, it contains no alcohol, just pure, melted cocoa mass. As the grinding continues, natural cocoa butter is released, giving the mixture its glossy texture. Once the liquor reaches the right consistency, workers transfer it into the conching machine. Here, giant paddles slowly mix and aerate the chocolate, preparing it for hours of continuous refinement. Inside the conching machine, the chocolate is mixed continuously for hours, sometimes even an entire day. This long process smooths the texture, removes unwanted bitterness, and develops the rich flavor people expect from high-quality chocolate. Workers check the mixture periodically, lifting small samples to judge its flow and consistency. Once the conching is complete, the chocolate is transferred to the tempering station. Here, it is cooled, warmed, and cooled again to create stable cocoa butter crystals. Workers pour a portion onto a steel table and spread it with spatulas, monitoring its texture carefully. Once the chocolate is fully tempered, workers prepare the molding area for the next stage. Clean molds are arranged on metal trays, and each one is checked to ensure there are no water droplets or residue that could affect the surface of the chocolate. The tempered chocolate is poured slowly into the molds, flowing smoothly thanks to the stable cocoa butter crystals created during tempering. Workers tap and adjust the molds to help the chocolate settle evenly. Proper alignment is important, because even a small tilt can cause uneven bars. With everything positioned correctly, the molds are now ready to move toward the cooling stage. With the molds prepared, workers begin filling them with tempered chocolate, allowing the mixture to flow evenly into every cavity. Once filled, the molds are placed onto a vibrating table. This gentle vibration removes trapped air bubbles and helps the chocolate settle into a smooth, uniform shape. After this step, the molds are carefully moved onto the conveyor belt that leads toward the cooling tunnel. At the tunnel entrance, workers check the temperature settings to ensure the cooling cycle is stable. After passing through the cooling tunnel, the molds reach the end of the line and are carefully removed by workers. Each tray is checked to make sure the chocolate has fully set and released cleanly from the mold surface. Workers lift individual molds and look for any dull spots or uneven textures that might indicate imperfect cooling. Once everything looks right, the chocolate bars are gently demolded and placed onto a clean metal table. Here, chocolatiers examine the surface shine and overall finish of each bar. If any edges appear uneven, workers trim away the excess to ensure a perfect, consistent shape before moving on to packaging. With the bars fully shaped and trimmed, workers lay them out on the inspection table for one final visual check. They look for smooth surfaces, consistent shine, and a clean snap line across the bar. Once approved, Each bar is wrapped in a protective layer of foil to keep the chocolate fresh and shield it from light and moisture. After the foil is secured, a branded paper sleeve is added to complete the packaging. Workers then place the wrapped bars into small retail boxes, making sure everything is aligned neatly. These finished boxes are carefully stacked onto storage shelves, where they wait to be grouped for shipment. Once the boxed chocolate bars are placed on the packing table, workers begin adding printed labels to each one, making sure the branding and product information are clear and centered. After labeling, another worker double-checks the batch numbers and expiration dates to confirm everything matches the production log. When the details are verified, the tops of the boxes are sealed securely with tape. The finished packs are then loaded onto a rolling cart, arranged carefully so they don't shift during movement. With the cart filled, a worker pushes it through the factory aisle, passing the same machines and workstations where each stage of the chocolate-making process took place. Workers bring a sample of freshly wrapped bars into the QC room, where each batch is examined under bright inspection lights. A bar is cut open to check the texture inside, making sure the chocolate is smooth and evenly formed. A trained taster evaluates a small piece, confirming the flavor, aroma, and snap are exactly as they should be. Every observation is written down and added to the production record to ensure consistency in future batches. Once the quality check is complete, workers move on to preparing the larger shipping cartons that will hold the finished chocolate bars for transport. With the quality check complete, workers begin packing the finished chocolate bars into larger shipping cartons. Each box is filled carefully to make sure the products stay upright and don't shift during transport. Once the cartons are loaded, a layer of protective padding is added around the bars to prevent damage while they travel. The tops of the cartons are then folded and sealed tightly with industrial tape. After sealing, shipping labels and barcodes are placed on the front, giving each carton a unique identification for tracking. Finished cartons are stacked neatly onto wooden pallets, forming stable layers that will be wrapped and moved toward the loading area. Once the pallets are stacked, workers wrap them tightly with clear stretch film to keep the cartons secure during transport. This wrapping prevents the boxes from shifting as the pallet is moved. After the wrapping is complete, a worker slides a pallet jack underneath and lifts the load carefully. The pallet is then pushed through the factory aisle toward the loading area. At the loading dock, the pallet is guided up a small ramp and into the delivery truck waiting outside. Before the shipment is finalized, a worker checks the cartons one last time, making sure everything is stable and properly arranged for the journey ahead. With the pallet secured inside, the truck doors are closed and locked, marking the official start of the shipment. Nearby, a worker signs the dispatch documents, confirming the quantity and batch numbers that have just been loaded. A supervisor reviews the shipment list carefully to make sure everything matches the day's production records. As the truck prepares to leave, workers return to the main production area, walking past the same machines and stations that handled each stage of the chocolate-making process. Before the next batch begins, the team starts cleaning the sorting table, removing leftover cocoa shells and preparing the workspace. The exterior of the roasting machine is wiped down to remove any fine cocoa dust that settled during the day. Nearby, tools used throughout production, like scrapers, spatulas, and scoops, are thoroughly washed and set aside to dry for the next batch. In the storage area, fresh sacks of cocoa beans are restocked onto the shelves, ensuring a steady supply for upcoming production cycles. At the main control panel, a technician checks temperature settings and motor speeds one more time. Finally, the conveyor belt is inspected and gently tightened, making sure it's ready for another full run of chocolate bars. At the cooling tunnel, a technician checks the temperature display to ensure the airflow remains steady and consistent. Nearby, another worker refills the grinder's hopper with fresh cocoa nibs, keeping the flow of ingredients uninterrupted. In the center of the room, a technician monitors both the grinder and the conching machine, making sure each one is running smoothly. Meanwhile, the production floor is swept to clear away cocoa shells and maintain a clean workspace. Empty chocolate molds from the previous batch are brought back to the molding table, ready to be washed, dried, and used again for the next cycle. In the ingredient area, workers refill storage bins with items like sugar, cocoa butter, and milk powder, keeping everything organized and ready for the next round of mixing. These ingredients are then carefully added to the chocolate liquor in precise amounts to achieve the exact flavor and texture desired. A worker measures each portion on a small industrial scale to ensure accuracy across every batch. Back at the tempering station, leftover chocolate on the steel table is scraped and cleaned so the surface remains spotless. Nearby, another worker looks through stacks of foil sheets and paper wrappers, checking that each piece is smooth, uncreased, and ready for the packaging stage. In the packaging area, workers lay out stacks of foil and paper wrappers, arranging them neatly so the wrapping process can continue without interruption. The finished chocolate bars are lined up on a metal table, and workers make small adjustments to ensure each bar sits perfectly straight. Once the bars are ready, batch numbers are stamped onto the wrappers to keep track of production and quality. A worker reviews an inventory checklist nearby, confirming how many bars have been completed so far.
So if you look at item 4 on the checklist, we need to verify the alignment on the new machine.
Got it. I'll take care of that now.
With packaging nearly complete, workers carry trays of fresh chocolate bars to the storage shelves, placing them carefully beside earlier batches. Before shutting down equipment, workers flip switches on the control panels, powering off machines that have been running since morning. Near the end of the shift, a friendly worker waves toward the camera, marking the close of the production cycle.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more factory videos.